go.
Hello, everyone. It's time for a very special story today. This man, whose name is Confucius, is a very wise teacher who lived more than 2,500 years ago in ancient China. Confucius thought hard about how people could live happily and get along with each other, and he left us many teachings. He taught the importance of treating each other kindly, taking care of one's family, and above all, always learning to better oneself. For example, there is a saying, "Don't do to others what you don't want to do to yourself," which means, don't do to others what you don't want to do to yourself. It is a very simple but important teaching. Confucius' ideas spread as a discipline called Confucianism and have had a great influence not only on China, but also on other Asian countries such as Japan, Korea, and Vietnam. And even now, it is firmly rooted in our lives. Let's listen to the story of Confucius together from now on. A country where a son honestly accuses his father of sin. At first glance, it may not seem wrong. Now, what did Confucius think of such a country? And what do you think? The king of the country, Duke of Yi, was feeling gloomy when he learned that a famous teacher named Confucius and his students had come to his country. He had not yet met Confucius. In fact, he did not really want to meet him. Duke of Yi was worried that Confucius might not take kindly to such behavior, since Duke of Yi's country was actually a small country but acted like a big country. Duke of Yi had no intention of accepting Confucius' teachings sincerely. This was because he felt that Confucius' teachings did not conform to the current political situation. However, the people hoped that Confucius' visit would improve their country. Duke of Yi felt that he could not betray such expectations. But he could not ignore Confucius completely. It would be a great disgrace if neighboring countries saw Duke of Yi as showing a lack of respect for Confucius. In fact, other countries were also placing less and less importance on Confucius. In such a situation, Duke of Yi also thought that it would not be a problem to ignore Confucius. Therefore, Duke of Yi's mind was filled with great anxiety. It was as if a huge barrier had been erected in front of his country, and that barrier was growing higher by the day. Some high-ranking officials were happy for Duke of Yi to avoid meeting with Confucius. But the more serious officials strongly encouraged Duke of Yi to talk with Confucius. Hearing this, Duke of Yi became a bit angry. He wanted to make his own decision on whether or not to meet with Confucius. Time passed, but Duke of Yi's resolve remained firm. The eager officials decided to meet Confucius themselves. They were eager to learn Confucius' teachings in person. He was a little irritated to see how everyone respected Confucius so much. But then he thought to himself, "If everyone respects him, then I should visit him once. But if my idea proves to be right, I will not visit Confucius anymore." He finally decided to talk to Confucius. And the next day was the day of that meeting. The night before the meeting, he was deeply troubled. It was difficult for him to believe that his political views were correct. The only thing he was confident of was that the people would obey the law by imposing harsh punishments. But still, he knew that harsh laws would not be accepted by the people. He thought about how he could convey his thoughts to Confucius. Then he remembered an incident. It was a report of a sheep that had wandered in from a neighbor's house and had been taken for his own without his knowledge. The occupant of the neighboring house claimed the sheep as his own, but unfortunately, there was no proof. However, his son said, the law cannot be bent. I love honesty, so this sheep belongs to the next house, he honestly said. He decided to tell this story to Confucius. And when he met with Confucius, he was amazed at his appearance. Confucius was old and his clothes were old-fashioned. But he was surprised by the weight of Confucius' words. Confucius said, "You should make people happy." He countered, "People in my country live in urban suburbs. People in my country live happily in the suburbs." But Confucius pointed out, if that were the case, people would be visiting your country from far away. He was surprised at this and honestly replied, "My country is not perfect yet." "I will work harder," he replied. He then turned to Confucius and said, "I think politics is not only about entertaining people but also about showing them the right way." "What do you think?" Duke of Yi said. "That is true. But if a leader does not have a deep understanding of what is right, it can have terrible consequences," Confucius replied. "But I am confident that I can lead people to the right path," the Duke of Yi said proudly. Confucius looked surprised and said, "That is admirable. If you can do that, you can truly be called a wise man." Duke of Yi looked slightly surprised. Confucius smiled and asked, "How do you show that you are right? Please elaborate." Duke of Yi thoughtfully began to recount a success story from his own country, but along the way, he tried to conceal an important fact. He had awarded a bounty to a son who had accused his parents. Confucius listened and occasionally pondered. When he finished listening, Confucius asked, "Does a good man in your country mean one who behaves in such a manner?" Duke of Yi blushed and said, "He sought the truth. He loved honesty more than his father." Confucius said gently, "Calm down a little. If you are serious about politics, listen to my words. You are trying to compete with me and are bringing up inappropriate examples. A righteous man is a father who hides the bad things for his son, and the son hides the bad things for his father. We believe that is true honesty," I said. Duke of Yi was astonished and speechless. He said, "Human honesty lies in protecting and fostering love between people. Laws are not right, but only insofar as they can make the relationship between people full of love. The love between parents and children, in particular, is love within love and is the source of all good things in the human world. The right path cannot be followed in a country that destroys it in the name of law," Confucius continued. Duke of Yi bowed deeply, impressed by Confucius' words. However, there was still some resistance in his heart. He did not want to change his old ways. Confucius sensed the sentiment and realized that further persuasion would be futile. Finally, Confucius left the residence of the Duke of Yi. He then promptly left the land of Yi and decided to continue his journey again.
Subscribe to our channel.